Village Cafe, which is the ultra runner hotspot in Bryan Collins Station.
All two of us.
And I'm here with my ultra running godfather, Chris Matus.
How's it going, guys?
How's it going, man?
Yeah.
And he's actually got on a computer planning out a new route for a 50-miler in it's Nueces, or it's somewhere out in West Texas. It's 5 hours from anywhere.
Yeah, pretty much. It's close to Rock Springs. It's out of Camp Eagle.
Camp Eagle.
Yeah.
So, but actually we're here to talk about the Rocky Raccoon and some gear. So the Rocky Raccoon's 2 weeks away, and this map right here is a course map, and we're going to talk about it real quick, and then also some lights. So I noticed on this map, it says written by Chris Matus. Where does it say there?
I think it may be.
Here it is, Chris Matus, June 2008. Right? I don't know if we're going to be able to see that. Anyway, there it is. Got it. So, what's different? I've done the 50-miler out here. Anyway, it's five laps around this lake, sort of. But what's new to me, the difference between the 50-miler and the 100-miler is this part, right? All the way out here, and then back.
Yes.
Okay, so what am I getting into out there? It looks pretty. Usually, this means it's a fence line, which means they cut a trail with no consideration for terrain whatsoever, which means it could be really hilly.
Well, you've actually run that before, Brett.
I have?
2 years ago when we ran the 50, 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, that was on there?
That was on there because the turnaround point was right in this section here.
Okay.
So you've run this part, and I know you've been on this inside part.
Okay,
so it's probably you're probably pretty familiar with it.
But it's a long time between aid stations, right? How many?
Well, you'd have to look over here.
6 miles.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Which is all right. So those people that are used to running at most, I'm gonna try to have Jesse Stenzel posture here. As I'm gonna 6 miles. So when you run a 5K or even up to a marathon, aid stations, you have an aid station like every mile.
Roughly, yeah.
So we're going 6 miles without any aid. So when you leave that station, you see people leaving with like armloads of food and water, right?
Well, it's a flat course, remember?
Yeah, it's flat except for every ditch and gully you have to cross up
and all
down,
the roots.
And roots, and yeah, the time you spend on your face from falling on a root. Okay, so what I wanted to show people is this map is printed on adventure paper, and it's Tyvek. It's plastic. It feels kind of like high-quality paper, but what they've done is they've put the different aid stations all over it, and then the miles between it, so you know how long you've got to go. I printed this on this adventure paper because it won't tear and the ink won't smudge, and I just wad it up into my pocket and keep running with it without much problem.
I like that.
And and then on the back,
oh, look at that!
Look at that!
Fancy.
We have the times that you need to be at each aid station and the distance between them if you want to beat the cutoff for 24 hours. So, what do you think of this? This is going to be my strategy, okay? I'm going to watch your face as I describe it.
You may not want to.
So, I'm going to try to get, eventually get 10 minutes ahead of schedule. And then that's it. And then try to stay 10 minutes ahead whenever I get there, and then I have a buffer towards the end. You already I saw you shaking your head.
I don't think I would take that approach.
Is that too risky?
I think it's too risky because I think you're going to risk going out too fast, and the last thing you want to do is go out too fast.
Even just 10 minutes?
10 minutes, that's a lot. That's a lot of time.
Over an hour?
Yeah.
Do you think I should just stay right on schedule?
I would actually, the best way, I think, I would go out slow. But that's just
yeah, slow. It's a 14-minute mile.
I would go slower than that.
Really?
Yeah. Because you know you're going to slow down, period. As the race goes on. When it gets dark, you're going to slow down even more.
Right.
So if you go out too fast at the beginning of the race, you're wasting all of your energy. It sounds like, okay, well, it's just 10 minutes, but 10 minutes is a lot of time.
Well, if I'm going slower than the 24-minute mile or the 24-hour pace at the beginning, and you say I'm going to slow down, how am I going to beat it?
You're putting me into a hole, aren't you? It sounds...
Where do I make up that time so I can come under?
Well, typically, if you start off slower, you should have more reserve for later in the race that you can pick the pace up.
Right.
I've just seen too many people, especially out at Huntsville, go out too fast, and it just burns them up.
Okay.
Because the course for a trail course is relatively flat, so it's almost like running on the road.
Mm-hmm.
You feel good, you're able to run fast, and you just burn yourself up. And then when night hits, you're just toast. So if you start off a little slower, you should be able to hold your pace a lot longer
Yeah.
than if you start out a little faster.
Okay.
That's
You
just
think
my
you
two
think a
cents.
14.5-minute mile might be too fast to start out?
That's for 100 miles. That's pretty quick. Remember Jorge when he almost set the record when we were there?
Yeah.
Was running an 8-minute mile,
Yeah.
and that's world record pace. So, and there's a big difference between 8-minute mile and 14, but
Not that much.
yeah, you know, it being your first 100, I would stay conservative. I mean, I don't think I would shoot for a time goal. I think it's good to say, okay, well, what is it going to take to get under 24? But then I think you also need to look at the other side. What's it going to take to finish?
Yeah.
Which is 30 hours.
Yeah.
So I would almost look at it and have two goals. Okay, what is it going to take to run this under 24? You're going to be a stud to do, just plain and simple.
To get under 24.
To get under 24.
Do I get a belt buckle for getting 30?
Sure. Yeah, you get a belt buckle either way.
Okay.
It's going to be a little different, but you're going to get a belt buckle.
Okay.
So what I would do is I would make my first goal say finish.
Yeah.
Get me, what does it take to finish in 30 hours? What's my pace?
Yeah.
And then also throw out there, okay, well, what's it going to take to finish in 24?
Yeah.
And go after the 30-hour time limit first.
Right.
And then as you get into the race and you start feeling good, or if you are feeling good, then start, okay, well, let me pick it up for a little while. What do I need to run to do 24? But it being your first 100, even though you've run the 50 out there a couple of times, I don't think it's a good idea to go in and say, hey, I want to run 24 hours.
Okay. I'll take your advice because
I think if you do 30,
you've proven to be much wiser than me in this stuff year over year. Okay, let's look at the lights.
okay. So
What do we got?
what we have here is what I call the standard Ultra Runner flashlight. It's a 3C size battery, 7 LED, green
Yeah.
light flashlight.
Now, why green?
Some people say it's easier on the eyes for a longer period, so you know you're going
Because
to
people get like sick to their stomach after looking at that glare off the light for 8 hours at night.
It's not so much that, but if you're looking at a white light for a long time, for a long period of time,
Yeah.
sometimes your eyes start doing funky things, and then you kind of almost like being snowblind.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
if you
yeah.
go with a green light, it's a little easier on the eyes. It kind of helps things as you get into the night, because you're going to be out there all night.
Yeah.
So some people don't like it. Some people do. Some people don't. I'm kind of indifferent. It doesn't make me a whole lot of difference. But it seems to work well for me.
Yeah.
And it's being a 7 LED. I know they make some that have 14 or 20 LEDs, but
So it looks big. Am I going to think that this thing sucks after a while?
it looks big.
Yeah.
But it's not too bad. It's balanced really well to hold in your hand when you're
Right.
running.
Here, let me try.
And it's not as heavy as you think it is.
And it's tough in case I drop
It's tough.
it.
It's actually a dive light, so it's waterproof down to 100 meters or something like that.
If I'm running under 100 meters of water,
you're
I'm
pretty tough.
badass,
You're
man.
badass.
Okay, so what do we got here?
What I also like to do is carry a backup light, whether it's another little handheld. This is a 1 LED, a couple AA batteries, or a little headlamp. So this is the Petzl Zipka.
Okay.
So you know you can put it almost anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, you can put it here, you can put it on your head.
And so the headlamps are really good because you can have your hands free and still see what you're doing.
And typically what I'll do
I
is
love those things.
Yeah, I'll carry the big handheld, and then I'll also wear the little headlamp. For like what you said is you need to get into your pack. Well, how are you going to deal with your hands if you're
you got to hold the flashlight in your mouth.
Right.
Yeah.
So you know that's where this headlamp comes in handy. And just in case this light goes out, your batteries go out.
Oh, yeah. So how long will the battery last in this thing? All night?
Longer than you'll be out there.
That's what I need.
I hope.
Does it got a flashing mode to signal a plane to come save my ass?
No, I've had these batteries in here probably for a year.
Oh, okay.
So
should I put new batteries in for this?
I would recommend that.
Okay.
And I think
I've got one like this.
You're able to have a drop bag along the course.
Oh yeah, where does the drop bag go? Tell me more about that.
The drop bag zones. You're going to have the drop bags here at the start finish, of course. And then when you get
where's the start finish?
Start finish is here.
Right.
So you'll have a drop bag there, which is at the end of each loop. Then you'll also have drop bags here at Dam Road, which is roughly halfway.
Okay.
So you'll be able to get your drop bags going out this way, and then also coming back.
Right.
So what I would recommend is putting an extra light, something like this little one here,
in one of the drop bags?
in your drop bag.
Right.
You don't need it necessarily at the start finish, but I would drop it at the Dam Road.
Yeah. Okay, we're back.
So we're back on. Okay. So we're talking lights. So I would take and drop a light like this, one of these small ones, in your Dam Road drop bag.
Which road?
Dam Road.
The Dam Road?
And that's what you'll be seeing in the middle of the
Dam
night.
Road, yeah.
And the reason being is if you leave the start finish and you're heading out on the trail, you may not want to carry a light with you.
Right.
So,
because you're not going to need it yet.
Because you're not going to need it yet. So if you have one there and you get into a problem, you've got a light.
Yeah.
Or if you're running and your big main one goes out, you have another light.
I'm not going to go an entire loop without a big light.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because, you ran the first 50.
Oh, I was out there in the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. So, just get you some good lights. You can't, when you're running at night, you want as much light as possible.
Yeah.
And you have to find what works for you. Some people don't like these big handhelds.
Yeah.
Some people would rather go with a big headlamp.
Yeah.
Puts out a lot of light.
Yeah, my friend Devin's going to use this huge headlamp thing.
Well, what I have found, and the reason headlamps don't work for me so much, is because with it being up here on your forehead, it's almost at the same plane as your eyes.
So you can't see shadows.
So you can't see shadows, so you lose a lot of definition.
Yeah.
So if you have a handheld, you can carry it a little lower, and it casts a bit of a shadow, so you can see those. You can see stuff in the trail, whether it's roots or rocks or dead animals or runners.
Dead runners.
Yeah, dead runners. But I still think it's a good idea to have a little headlamp with you, so you can use it in the aid stations or looking through your drop bag or tying your shoes or whatever you're going to do on the trail.
Cool. And that's it.
That's really about it on lights.
Oh, cool, man. Well, hey, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm going to die out there, aren't I?
Yes, you are. Don't worry, it's not that far from an aid station.
That's true. There's always pizza at the aid station or something. So.
Or tequila.
Yeah. Really?
It could be.
Wow.
And
this is
and with about 1,000 runners on the trail, you're never going to be alone. So.
Yeah, that's true. All right, man. All right, thanks.
Yeah.